Howdy partners, Tristan and Luke back once again. Slightly delayed, unfortunately. We were due to publish this sort of second week of Red Dead Online Beta updated impressions, but right as we were about to pull the trigger, so to speak, Rockstar delivered an update for the game to address a number of things, in particular the economy of the game, which was sort of being discussed a lot amongst the players of
a little stingy in parts.
Yes.
And it's been a little kind of overinflated in others. Both of those have been addressed to some degree.
Right.
So, yeah, I basically my second week with the game, and I'm going to pick up the controller and start playing again now. My second week with the game has been a little different from the first, in that the second week I played it was the first time I had some like pretty significant technical issues, and that was only for a day. But throughout the course of that day, I must have been knocked off about a dozen times, more.
That's sounds frustrating.
This was pretty frustrating. It was compounded by the fact that the way I was playing it, certainly recently, because we're out of story missions at this point, and I play a lot alone, so I was just kind of exploring the world, hunting, and all that kind of stuff. And when you're getting knocked off, you lose the pelts that you've collected that are on the back of your horse, or any carcasses that you have there. So that was frustrating. But like I said, it was one day. I think it was last Wednesday.
Okay.
So people might be like, oh yeah, I had a bad day that day. So maybe there was something going on. But also, one thing that I've noticed is that the culture of the game has changed a little bit. Because one of the things that I was quite kind of almost baffled by was how surprisingly civil everything was. And I mentioned it in our first impressions, certainly the written piece. I can't remember the video.
That is something that would stand out in a game of this nature, I feel. An online game of this nature.
I found myself just, encountering other people entirely peacefully for the most part. There was a couple of times where I was killed arbitrarily. That's changed a little bit, certainly in the past week, and I've had more instances where I'm just getting slaughtered, just for no reason whatsoever.
Unprovoked.
Completely unprovoked. I'll see if I can catch something here now, but we should cut to a clip in a minute.
Okay.
Of, I think, possibly the most perfect summary of the Red Dead Online experience so far. Certainly a very concise one. But yeah, actually it was in this very spot. But yeah, just, it's strange, and it's something, I've discussed it in sort of the written update for this week. But there's no passive mode like there is in GTA Online.
Yep.
There's a passive area, and that is your camp, and it's something that I've made use of because just being at your camp, cooking the food the meat that you collect, which is far more cost effective than buying like tinned food, which I have done, and I have a satchel full of tinned food. But yeah, just hunting and cooking is way easier. Well, it's cheaper.
Right.
Not so much easier. Easier on the wallet. But if you stockpile a bunch of fresh meat, you want to sit there and cook it. You don't want to get someone walk up to you and try to shoot you in the head, which I literally had. People sort of walking up to the camp, and you can see them in there, like they have their weapon out, but nothing's happening, and they're trying to interact with me and, I don't know, catch my attention or something. It wasn't working out. Here we go. Yeah.
I find it very, I haven't spent anywhere near as much time as you with the Red Dead Online. I do find it surprising that there's no passive mode, outside of the camp, given, the way that it works in GTA Online.
Yeah.
Because like you, Luke, I play GTA Online for the most part in passive mode because I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Correct.
I'm not particularly good lover or fighter,
No.
but my disposition is to, just kind of chill and enjoy the game without fear of copping a bullet at any moment.
Absolutely.
So yeah, given that they've...
Wow, that's a big fight for a tiny fish.
Given that Rockstar has already sort of proven that is something that works, It is surprising that it's not in this game yet. Again, it's a beta. It could be on the to-do list for sure. But
Yeah. Well, let's cut to that clip.
Oh yes.
Okay, so this is the clip, right?
Your favourite fishing spot.
This is where we are currently. Yeah. So this is my favorite fishing spot.
Yeah.
Yanking some salmon out of the out of the lake. And you'll note if you just spotted just on the right hand side, there's another fella who was there, and doing the same thing.
Yep.
And what you'll see in just a moment is that this player, he or she, just drops this fish, a large fish, and it's one of these you can only put over the back of your horse. You can only carry one at a time.
Right. So there's a
Obviously,
finite amount you can
exactly.
carry.
So perhaps he's already got one, or perhaps
Right.
he doesn't want to bother taking it back into town.
Right.
Anyway, delivers it to me, pops it at my feet, walks back over there, and continues fishing. And I should add that this player and I have been fishing in this spot probably for a good 15, 20 minutes. Just hanging out in the woods, fishing
Peacefully,
at this time.
enjoying nature.
Exactly. Both doing the same thing. We're both, maybe we're similar sorts of players, you know what I mean? Just, filling our satchels with meat, out in the wild, alone.
Trying not to make eye contact.
Yeah. It's like when you're in the toilets.
Yes. Public toilet.
Public toilet, just...
Get in, get your business done, get out.
But
Also shake the drips off your fish. Wait, hang on a second.
what's just happened? I've been shot in the back.
From nowhere.
From nowhere.
From a third party. He's not the guy that gave you the fish.
No. Shot in the back. Worst sin you can do.
It's unforgivable.
The Wild West.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's
And so that has happened many a time. Well, that was the worst example, but-
it's happened again the other night. The other night I was in Blackwater fishing off a pier.
Right.
And I need to re-equip some bait. Some scoundrel, this is kind of annoying actually. Tapping L1 puts fishing rod away, but you got to hold it to get the bait out. And
Right.
I do this all the time. Some duded up, egg sucking gutter trash.
Nice.
Some well-dressed mongrel kept shoving me into the water or tackling me and tying me up and then dropping me in the water if I couldn't escape in time.
Oh yeah,
Which happened occasionally because I was like feverishly pounding the square button
Right.
to escape, and sometimes I tap the options button or I tap a different button.
Got it.
And I get dropped in the water.
Yeah.
It's super frustrating. So, yeah, it's tough because I've spoken to a few people about this, and I don't know what the solution is outside of passive mode. I don't know whether or not there's a more elegant solution to letting people play the way they want to play. So if you just want to peacefully spend some time out in the wilderness, collect some pelts and fish and whatever,
Yep.
maybe your dot doesn't appear on the radar. Maybe honourable players don't appear on the radar. Maybe dishonourable players do appear on the radar. And that's some kind of, sort of in-game gamey mechanism that a notorious wanted outlaw would be recognised around the world. And you should know what these scumbags look like, as opposed to just regular folk.
That makes a lot of sense
out
to
in the
me.
wild.
Yeah, you're just a civilian.
Yeah, because as it stands, the only way to not get killed by these kinds of players is to be killed by these kinds of players 3 times in a row. And then you can activate a parlay, which
Right.
gives you 10 minutes of
10 minutes.
10 minutes of immunity from, I bet you I've been baited, 10 minutes of immunity from those players.
Right.
So yeah. One thing that has happened since the update with the economy is a lot of the prices have come down. Oh, no, I haven't. A lot of the prices have come down for the weapons, which is good.
Yep.
Because some of them were incredibly expensive. Like we discussed in the video that we recorded that you guys will never see. Like the shotgun price, for instance, was $800.
Okay, and where's it now?
It's dropped by about 30 or 40%. Because like we mentioned, it's like you can buy a shotgun in this country for $800 today. So it's a kind of a silly price, and they're still kind of silly.
So it's around 500 now or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Add to cart. Add to cart.
Although they have sort of normalized some of the prices of some of the pelts and fish, for instance, have been dropped in price. So that kind of balances it out. But we'll dive into a sort of a death match in a moment. Wait, this better be a gigantic fish. Come on. But yeah, one thing that has changed is payouts for mission repeats or story missions. Certainly, this is a large fish, I think.
I'm hoping you pull it out and it's a plug and the whole river drains like a sink. There's a little Easter egg in there.
Yeah, mission payouts and also the PvP multiplayer payouts have increased, which is good because they prior to that they were quite small, and PvP is already something that I kind of endure is not exactly the right word, because it's not like I don't enjoy sort of the Red Dead systems and just sort of being in this world.
Yep.
But I'm not a really competitive guy. But increasing the payouts, sometimes by like twofold at least, makes them far less kind of less sort of frustrating to get to the end of and realize that, oh wow, I spent 10 minutes doing this and I have enough to buy a box of oatcakes.
Yeah. It's a better use of your time.
It's it really felt like it really was a grind, and I think I guess they've figured out that it just needed to be sort of a better payout.
Yep.
So that more attractive payout, regardless of your performance, like the game that we played just prior to recording, I thought I did it right. The game told me I didn't.
It did kind of sass you at the end.
Yeah, it sassed me at the end, and I got more kills than several other players. I'm not that good. But it was it was easily 2 or 3 times the size of the payout that I would have got previously.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah, I mean sometimes you were getting $4, less than $5, and then like a spec, like 1 or 2 nuggets of gold.
Yep.
And that's increased sort of significantly, which is good. God, where's this fish? But I guess what it needs now, and I don't know when this will happen, it kind of just needs the story to continue.
Right. So there was what was it, half a dozen story missions?
Yeah, there was half a dozen
with?
story missions. Because at the moment, I guess, this is maybe kind of overstating it, but like at the moment, it kind of feels like a really, really generous, open-ended demo, and that's probably not entirely fair, because there's so much stuff you can do. You can hunt. There's every species here you can hunt. Every town you can go into. So there's not like there's crazy restrictions that you normally sort of associate with a demo, so to speak.
Right.
But because the story taps out at that 6,
I know. Keep going. Sorry.
Because the story taps out at that 6 mission mark, it kind of it just feels like we haven't really seen. We've barely scratched the surface,
Right. And we're only 2.5 weeks in, I guess.
Exactly.
Or not even.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
It'd be nice to know. Yeah, it'd be nice to know sort of what the rollout ultimately kind of looks like. Whether or not we should expect like a full story thread once they decide to take that beta tag off.
Yep.
Or whether or not this the Red Dead Online story is something that is poised to last several years.
Yeah.
And will be sort of, I guess, staggered out in 6 mission bursts, or I don't know. It's hard to say at this point.
Right.
It's as hard to say as this fish is to reel in.
Yes.
I almost hope it's tiny. Oh! Damn it!
Can you just get out your gun and shoot it?
No, fish got away, Tristan.
Oh.
Fish got away.
Well, that was somewhat anticlimactic.
Such an anticlimax.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was a disappointing end, but it's good to sort of check in with you. People who want to know more can obviously read your fresh load of impressions that are on the site. I don't mean to call your impressions a load. They're not. They're very well written and well thought out, but they're on the site now. We'll have more impressions, I imagine, in another week. Maybe Rockstar will deliver another update soon.
Maybe they'll do it this afternoon, and we won't publish this video either.
Moments before we publish this. Yeah, who knows? It's an exciting, fluid online world that we live in. But anyways, for all things Red Dead Online, stay right here on IGN.
Can't believe that fish got away.
You should give up fishing. I think.
I should. I really should.